Thank you for clicking on today's video, and happy 4th of July to everybody out there. The Americans that love this holiday take it to heart when you have, crazy lunatics on the internet screaming about how, racist the 4th of July is for some reason and how terrible his country is, even though they can sit there and pretty much say what they want to say and not get any repercussions like getting thrown into federal prison or death. And this 4th of July, I am bearing the gift of cringe. So every holiday I kind of like to go on TikTok and just peruse it to see what nonsensical gibberish these people are speaking of now, how the system's rigged and how we colonize this place and we're just a bunch of white supremacists and all that. And every year they just come out with something different. It's crazy. Like they just throw it into an AI generated system and spit out something different every year. So let's watch and see what they have to say about that.
Let me be clear. I'm not celebrating the 4th of July, but I am going to take that day off. I'm not finna celebrate. What is there to celebrate? The Supreme Court striking down affirmative action? Absolutely not. But the break, the day off from America, now that I could use. So I'm going to throw some food on the grill. We're going to get in this space.
You're still celebrating it, my guy.
We're going to have a good time.
You're still celebrating it. Brother, what is wrong with your forehead? It looks like a cone head. It looks like from that Conehead movie. I just love, he said, I'm not going to celebrate it. I'm still going to take the day off and, cook some food and have a party. But we're not going to celebrate the 4th of July. You're crazy. That's a white supremacist holiday.
Not celebrating the 4th of July this year, and I haven't
Tell me
for
why.
quite a while, because I don't really think that there's anything to celebrate.
Lady, what are you talking about? You could sit on TikTok and express how you feel without the government kicking down your door. In some cases, if you're not a pro-life or a Republican.
I don't want to ignore our country's history, and when I say our country's history, I mean all of the god-awful shit that our country has done.
Oh, yeah.
And I also want to make clear that I don't think I've ever felt patriotic or any kind of sense of patriotism.
That's a you problem. That's not our problem. That's your problem. It's a skill issue.
Boomer is probably going to get in my comments and tell me that I'm an ungrateful little shit, and I just haven't nothing to show for it. I've had to choose between life-saving medical care and having any kind of financial stability in the future multiple times now. And before somebody tells me that I could have financial stability and I could own a home if I would just stop drinking Starbucks and taking vacations, I've never had Starbucks, and I haven't had vacation in over 15 years. But even if I was one of the lucky people who could afford daily Starbucks and a vacation once a year maybe, I still could not afford a home. I realize that I'm incredibly lucky and incredibly privileged that I even have a roof over my head at all, but that is very fleeting and that could change at any moment. A vast majority of America is closer to homelessness than they are becoming a millionaire. And let's not forget that as a disabled person, if you have any kind of assistance at all, you're not allowed to have any assets in your name.
What are you talking about, lady? So Stephen Hawking didn't have anything under his name because he was disabled? That makes zero sense. So anyway, she hates America because she thinks it's systematically against her. Like she's a disabled woman. She's privileged, but yet she's oppressed, and she's disabled, so she can't own anything. It's just a loop-de-loop with these people, man. It's like, just because you're in a bad situation this year doesn't mean that America's like that. Like the boomers say, work harder. You don't get by in life by complaining. I mean, if you live in California, I guess you can.
It's 4th of July weekend. There's so much to celebrate, right? No, there really isn't. Because the truth of the matter is the freedom and independence that the 4th of July holiday is supposed to represent.
Why is she putting it in quotes? I don't understand that. Like, there's no freedom. You're oppressed, lady. It looks like you own your own salon in the background. I don't know if that is your room, but it looks like you have some sort of freedom of expression.
Present never included all Americans or all people in America, right? So back in 1776, Black folks were still enslaved. So that's not anything to celebrate. So what I want to challenge you to do.
It's funny that may be true, but then without the Constitution, we wouldn't be where we're at today. That's the crazy part. The Constitution was made, have your interpretation of the law so it can change later on. That's what the founding fathers predicted while having slaves.
The 4th of July is such an interesting holiday because most Americans don't even know what it represents. People will refer to it as...
Please, tell me, kind sir, on TikTok, what does the 4th of July mean?
Independence Day, even though America wasn't even technically free until 1783. Now, the Constitution was signed on July 4th, 1776 by 56 delegates from the original 13 colonies. And almost half of those delegates owned slaves, but who's counting? But the ratification process of the Constitution
Why do black people always bring up slaves? Like, bruh, it was like 200 years ago, bro. Chill.
didn't even start until 1787. And this is where we would end up getting the Bill of Rights, or the first 10 amendments that we're so familiar with. The Bill of Rights was created at a constitutional convention. Now, a major point of argument at this convention was that the southern states wanted something that would protect their autonomy. The southern states had even threatened secession, not being
Brother, I don't know why you're complaining, because the civil rights are in the amendments. If it remember clearly that the amendments were made and it actually benefited black people. So I don't know why you're complaining about that.
I have a bone to pick with Europeans. I was summoned. How can I be of assistance?
Whoa, motherland here, straight from the south. Guys, don't mind me. I just walked in.
You sound African. What do you mean the South?
I have too much electricity, so I'm bored. You guys can continue.
Whilst I was in Denmark, I got chatting to someone. Basically, she proceeded to tell me that they don't celebrate 4th of July. And I was like, what do you mean? What?
Mariki, let's give her a chance. She's building a case. Let's just give her some time.
She's like, we don't celebrate. Why would we celebrate it? Like, why would you not celebrate it? Literally, that's like not celebrating Christmas. Or
Exactly.
I was not expecting that off-ramp.
This is just cringe, guys. They try to be funny. This is what happens when these lunatics try being funny. It's not funny. It's cringe. It is cringe.
Are you celebrating the 4th of July this year? And if you're not, like me, what alternatives exist? Well, many of us know that the symbolic themes of Independence Day, like freedom, equality, and justice, are anything but representative of the realities of the commemoration. At the time, black people were enslaved, Native Americans were being killed and forced from their land, women were denied almost all the rights that men had, and so on and so forth. Even in just the past,
It's funny how these people were saying, oh, right when this happened, all this stuff was going on. There was slavery still. It's like, brother, we took it away from Britain. Like we took it away from the British people, and we were rebuilding what we had a vision of. I don't understand. You can't just say, okay, bon voyage to everything. Rome wasn't built in a day. It took decades to make America a functioning government, and that's why we're the strongest government in the world.
past week alone, we're seeing how the discriminatory ideas
Of course,
of founding fathers
my
are
body,
being
my
used to
choice
uphold
people in the
oppressive
back.
systems today. So instead of celebrating their adoption of the Declaration of Independence, I'm going to be participating in a celebration called Civic Season. So Civic Season actually takes place from Juneteenth to July 4th. It's a new celebration that's been organized by a series
I don't know why that's so funny. It's like, what? Civic Day. Just go up to anybody and be like, Happy Civic Day. And they'll be like, what? These people are so delusional. Like, just don't celebrate it. Why do we have to put another holiday over it? I don't understand that. Just like with Easter, they're trying to make it Trans Visibility Day.
The celebration calls on us to participate in actions that push America to be actually representative of the ideas that it claims to uphold and to celebrate the causes we stand for. Let me know if you want another video on this, but for
America
now,
doesn't
follow
do that at
at
all.
History Made by Us for details.
The people you vote for are in power, buddy. Did you not look at the debate the other night? I guarantee you voted for Biden.
Look, I'm gonna tell you straight up. If you are really still out here celebrating the 4th of July unironically, then you have officially outed yourself as an op. Okay, you're the enemy.
This dude is freaking crazy. Look at this dude's style. He looks like a middle-aged woman with glasses on, just saying, with a beard.
That's a major red flag because why? For what reason?
Because he could sit on TikTok in an apartment complaining about the government without them kicking down your door and throwing you into prison. It's just fascinating. Say this in China, dude. Go to China and be a citizen and talk like this in China. You would be in prison right now.
Really? I mean, come on, man. Seriously? You really still out here being patriotic?
And the people that run this country, you voted for. Yes, I'm
After
patriotic.
everything that this country has been doing to us for years now?
What's that,
Decades
man?
even?
What's that?
Have you heard about the bullshit that the Supreme Court has been doing recently?
Doesn't affect black people at all. Doesn't affect women at all. The states have the right to choose. Trump has immunity for certain trials. It's obviously, it makes sense because he was the president at the time, and you do have certain immunities.
These legislators are trying to take our basic freedoms away one by one.
Tell me what that has to do with black people, though, because you're saying it's for black people, right?
And basically turn us into a fascist regime. And you really still out here waving around an American flag, acting like you proud?
Yes, sir!
Need to take some notes out of Francis' book and start burning some shit down. I'm just saying.
Nice, that worked out. That worked out in 2020.
Tell me why you're not celebrating the 4th of July this year. I'll go first. Because I care about children. Let me explain. The 4th of July essentially celebrates a settler state. We all know the United States wouldn't exist without the genocide of indigenous people. We all just pretend like it doesn't matter that much.
That was Europeans, lady. It wasn't Americans. It was Europeans. It was the British people. I see no fingers getting pointed at Britain. That's funny.
But our settler state neighbors to the north know a little something about uncovering the truth. Officials recently found over 200 indigenous children's bodies at a residential school in Canada. And the
That was fake. That was disproven. That was false. Of course, you wouldn't care because you don't like reality.
mass graves continue to grow. According to The Week, over 6,000 indigenous children died in residential schools in Canada. And
Let me ask you, what does that have to do with America? This is Canada. Go to Canada and complain. Why are you sitting here on TikTok complaining about America when you're bringing up Canada?
these weren't really schools. They were sites of physical, spiritual, and psychological torture of indigenous people and their families. And this happened here, too.
Where?
Residential schools in the United States closed in the 1970s. And our government has...
Where's your proof at?
Investigation, but that's not going to happen until we signal boost. Because a weird thing happens with numbers. When they get really high, we start to not care as much. So visualize one child. How can you celebrate that?
But yet, you're probably pro-choice. Let's look at your profile. Oh, look, happy Pride, of course. I honestly don't take people serious who are pro-abortion and pro-transing kids. I'm just not. I don't take you seriously. I'm sorry. You're not a serious person.
Breaking news. There are many people claiming to not want to celebrate the 4th of July this year.
Just crazy people. Not everybody.
Surprisingly, I've been coming across many videos that have been anti-4th of July. A lot of them are bringing up things like slavery and racial discrimination and a whole bunch of different things that are from more of the dark side of America's past. But a lot of people are standing up claiming like, yes, America has had a bad past, but what country hasn't? The fact of the matter is, America may have done a lot of things.
I really thought he was going somewhere with this. He's just a noob.
Hello?
911, what's your emergency?
Yes. July 4th is over with. It's 12:01 a.m. and they still popping fireworks. I got work in the morning. No, what are you doing? Let these people have their fun. Boy, shut up. Hello?
911, what's your emergency?
Yes.
That's so true.
Yeah, no one should be celebrating the 4th of July. And why is that?
What the flip is that?
Because Jesus didn't say anything about it in the Bible. Yeah, no, that's dumb. Not doing something because Jesus didn't do it in the Bible, it's dumb. I thought you were going to say something like, oh, because there's millions of indigenous lives that were lost to gain that American freedom.
The non-binary Jesus over here is G-Gazes. It's funny that these people get so offended about everything and they just mock religion. But once we mock the LGBT community, it's all gloves off. They're going to come after you. They're coming for your kids. They're coming for your wife.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Anyways, I thought I'd show you guys some 4th of July TikToks. This is absolutely insane. It's always like this every single year. It's sad because there's people in the comments that are agreeing with them saying, you know, hey, this is good. I think about this too. It is what it is. This is TikTok. And the clock is ticking down for you, buddy. 5 months, I think, until the government's gonna give you the hammer. So, you know, with TikTok, it's cool to make content off of. It's good to laugh and giggle at. But unfortunately, they're gonna non-exist no more. Where are these people gonna flock to, guys? You know, you literally could sit there and say that this country is trash, and you could do all this stuff and say all this crazy nonsensical stuff. But once you say something about the LGBT, that TikTok will come after you saying that this is, you know, bullying and all this stuff. Like, there's been times where I would post something about, like, one time I posted something about Joe Biden, and it literally said it's election interference. And obviously I fought it, and they appealed it, but that video just died. No views after that. So they are literal brain rot to the society, and I'm glad this cancer is getting cut out. People have different opinions about it. I think if people can't do something, the government should step in and do something, because there's some parents aren't parents and some kids don't have guidance, and we don't need these goofy goobers on TikTok telling them what their moral opinions should be. But anyway, I'm going to go have a great day today. I'm going to go party with my family, who are actually black. We are all patriots. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead, like this video, subscribe for more videos like this. I really enjoy making videos like this, guys. So go ahead and support me as much as you can just by liking and subscribing. That's all I'm asking for, and sharing it. Hope you guys have a good 4th of July, and God bless the USA. Oh, you got to go.